newest actions out of the way, I'm going to discuss the rivals with you. So, as you know, the first rival is Osana Najimi, Taro's childhood friend, and I genuinely believe she should be the final rival. Taro will already think super highly of her, right? Because they've grown up together, they were childhood friends. Also, if she was the final rival, Raibaru would make so much more sense. Like, this basically indestructible fucking bitch follows her around. It'd make so much more sense if she was the final rival. But, Osana herself is an iffy character. She's a tsundere, so she hides her feelings by being rude to her crush. And while she does do all these things, a tsundere is supposed to slowly mellow out over the course of their time on screen. But Osana can't, since she's only there for a week, so she just switches when she confesses. I understand he only had 5 days for his rival, but I think she should have started to mellow out on day 3 and been more nervous or something. I don't know how I don't know how I feel about 5 days of bitching. It wouldn't be forgiven because I liked you or whatever. But Yandere Dev made the rivals so they were the first rival is his least favourite type of dere, and the final rival is his favourite. So a tsundere is his least favourite type of dere. Okay, the second rival is Amai Oriaka. She is the president of the cooking club. Amai, I'm gonna mispronounce this, is a Haji dere. The website gives very little information on this girl, like most of the rivals, but it does tell us that she's basically only able to make friends with Senpai because he is sad about Osana. So, cool. We do know that her parents own a bakery in town that we aren't allowed to go in. In order to befriend them, we have to bring her to a bakery, and I believe you find something to make them shut down or something, which saves her parents' bakeries, so she massively owes you. We don't know much else, to be honest, which is odd. You'd think now that she and Osana in the game we'd have more info on them, but no. I personally like Amai, she's a good character for me. Senpai liking her quickly makes sense since his friendship with Osana is over, since she's either dead or stopped talking to him. She's a president of the cooking club, but is absent from the first week. The website doesn't give a reason why, so I'm going to assume it's something to do with her family's bakery, because why else would it be? And the wiki also says this. The third rival, and my second favourite, is Kazane Sonobu, who is the leader of the drama club, and it doesn't say on the website, but I think this is also on the wiki, says she's absent because she broke her leg falling off stage, which I guess. Kazane wants to be the most famous actress, and for some reason believes Tara would be the perfect addition to the drama club. Taro liking Kazane makes some sense, but not as much as Amai. Both Asana and Amai were on the sweet side. Asana was rude, but would get flustered, and Amai was just kind. But Kazane, she's arrogant and egotistical, and I'm not saying that every rival should be the same, of course not. That would be a really shitty game. But I don't think Taro would easily like her. I think Taro's character is to blame. He's too bland to imagine him with someone that isn't sweet, you know? If he is in a club, if he was in a club or something, then it'd be easier for me to see him with someone like Kazane because he'd have more personality instead of the most unattractive and just boring character who pulls 10 fucking O's. Kazane is again, gonna pronounce this, Himi Dere, which just means she wishes to be treated like a princess. Now, my favourite rival is the fourth rival, Okuruto. She's my favourite because of her whole vibe. She's creepy and goth, but whatever. I personally don't believe in the occult, but it's a very interesting idea. If I met someone who did believe, I'd be able to hear about it. But anyway, Oka is absent for the past 3 weeks of school. The website says it's to mysterious reasons. So thanks, January Dev. I can tell how much effort you put into thinking about these rivals and the reasons for not being at school. You could have even been like, let me think of a reason for her to be absent right fucking now. A reason for her being absent could be maybe she was, looking into the occult somewhere. Just put that, okay? Her parents would probably fucking listen. Oka is a Utsudere, who is a character who is often sad and depressed for a good reason. I don't know what her reason is, but it's most likely bullying since she's seen as weird. Oka falls for Senpai quickly, which leads her to believe there is something supernatural about him, and so she begins studying her. Taro falling for her would also make sense. She's shy and sweet, much like Honami from 1980s mode. Someone like Oka is seen as a woman that should be protected, so it's not insane to think that Taro would be interested in her. The fifth rival, absent for 4 weeks, is Asurito, the leader of the sports club. I think she's absent because she's training somewhere, I could be wrong. Anyways, she is a dere, which means she's sweet and energetic. She quickly makes friends with Senpai because of the last 4 weeks and uses exercise to take his mind off it. This fast-forming friendship doesn't make sense. If I was Senpai and the last 4 girls who were friends with me either died, disappeared, or just avoided me, I'd be more cautious of new friendships. But maybe he's dumb. I don't know. I find Asu super forgettable. Like, I've never seen content of her. I literally struggle to remember who she is when she's brought up. Like, people say her name and I have to Google her because she's so forgettable. She seems like a good person, or at least a happy one to be around. When you join the sports club, the gang chat something about the leader telling him that to let anyone join the club, or at least it used to be this way. I never joined the sports club. I'm assuming during her weeks Senpai will run on the track and hang out with the sports club rather than sit and read. I can't think what much to say about her. Maybe once she's in the game I'll be able to give a more in-depth opinion. Next, this is one of my least favorite rivals. The student nurse, Mujakina. The website does say she's a student nurse, but that means her parents and the school looked at her outfit and said, you can wear that. I don't actually know if she even attends academy because it doesn't mean she's absent from school, so maybe it's a work experience thing. She's an adult. There's no way she's 18, she's at least 21, you cannot convince me otherwise. Muja is a bakadere, a character who is clumsy, often stupid, and often lacking common sense. And I hate this bitch, I cannot express it enough. And the reason she's very clearly based on an adult, but if you want to say that she isn't, why her tits are massive. The only other rival with visible tits is Midorana. Also, it says she's a student nurse, but she is on the faculty page of the thing as well. So, is she a student or a faculty member? Work people don't count as actual faculty, so you can't even say that. Now, the next rival is Milirana. She's an adult, confirmed adult. The website has her role as substitute teacher. Yandere Dev actually wrote a pedophile into his game. Look, I am not saying you cannot use pedophiles in your story, but they have to be well written, and you yourself cannot be one. I'm not joking. It fully says there is nothing that she enjoys more than having dozens of eyes. Especially if those eyes belong to teenage boys. So, okay, she's a pedophile. Also, every rival can be match made with boys around the school. There are no male teachers. You know there are plenty of male students. And I know for a fact that this path maker still all of learner students, like the cute sewing boy, or the boy who stayed at school. But anyways, I guess, she's an Iro-dere, a character who acts lustful but has a sweet side when he meets someone they truly love. So I guess Yandere Dev is trying to say this grown-ass woman's true love is an 18-year-old boy. So okay, confirmed pedophile, who isn't even real well, and the 7th rival, getting closer to his favourite type of dere, so... The 8th rival is Osoro Shidesu, the leader of the delinquents. She is a Kit-Ik-Yudere, also known as the Thug Dere. They apparently harm their love interests physically and mentally to hurt their feelings. Osoro herself isn't a public bad boy, but the equivalent of a quiet boy is a trope I personally enjoy. I do know that it's confirmed the reason Osoro is absent is because she's suspended while the guidance counselor tries to rehabilitate the other delinquents. Or, you know, the guidance counselor gets fired. I really hope she functions like the other delinquents, because otherwise it's just like, oh. The video on Yandere Dev's channel tells us that no one actually knows all that much about her and just passes around stories, but the basic understanding is that a group of people from another school got mad at Osoro and tried to fight her, but she beat the shit out of them and took the leader's coat and wears it. This then inspired the other boys to become just like her, and that is pretty much all the information we have on her. I enjoy her, I think she's a good rival, but if she doesn't function like the other rivals, like if she like walks around the school, it's like, oh, because realistically she should stand by the incinerator just like all the others. The 9th rival, Hanako Yamada. That's right, Taro Yamada's little sister is a rival. So, she's a tease dere, which means they like to tease and sometimes flirt with those they like. She's absent from Academia High because her grades are bit too bad to get into the school, so she's a fucking dumbass. And my issue with her being a rival is that means at the end of the week, she'll confess her love to Taro Yamada, her brother, and he will accept her love confession unless Ayano stops that confession or makes Taro hate her in 5 days. That's right, Taro, who spent 16 years at least with his sister, will hate her because of just 5 other events. And I don't want to talk about this anymore, so moving on to the 10th rival. The final rival, Megami Psycho, who gets to have the favourite type of dere, Kudere, who hides their feelings by being calm and collected. The website says she's absent from school but won't tell anyone why, but if you walk into the student council room, Megami says that her father won't let her attend because Ayano is also attending the school. The website says that she excels at everything she does and is the most popular girl at school, which I guess makes sense. I just don't like her being super popular, but that's just a me thing. I personally think the whole Psycho lore is fucking stupid. Like, they're supposed to be important, but so far we have 2 rivals and it's not even a hint of that. And in the 1980s mode, the only times I think the Psychos are mentioned are in the good ending when you call Ichiko Psycho, but find out answers. Also, why is Flying Girl Ichiko's twin sister? I don't know, but she is, I guess, because fuck me. But obviously it'd be difficult to focus on eliminating a rival and learn about the Psycho family, which is why I don't think the Psycho family should exist.